Hello, welcome back to yet another true crime vlog. Today, we're going to be talking about Artemis Ogletree, or Roland T. Owen. January 2nd, 1935. This guy walks into the Hotel President, located in Kansas City, Missouri. Now the man gave a Los Angeles address. Said his name was Roland T. Owen. He only planned to stay at the hotel for a couple of nights. He just felt that the overnight fees at the previous hotel he was staying at were he felt they were too expensive. The staff recall him being a rather well-dressed man in a long dark overcoat. He requested to have an interior room facing the courtyard as opposed to the street outside. There was a bellhop there by the name of Prost. Helped him to his room, 1046. In the elevator going up, he noticed that Owens had a scar around his temple, along with a cauliflower ear, so they originally thought he might be a boxer or a wrestler.
I'll meet this jabroni any day, any week. Bring it!
The bellhop showed him to his room and left him a key, and he went on his way. Later in the day, a maid by the name of Mary Soptic. When she got to Owen's room, she entered and was very surprised to see, because, well, she had been off the night before, but he was sitting in the dark with the shades drawn. She was startled, and she said she just had to clean the room. He told her to go ahead. After a little while of her cleaning the room, he threw on his coat and said he'll be right back, but to leave the door unlocked because he's expecting some friends later. Around 4 p.m. that day, she went back up with fresh towels for him, and she saw a Do Not Disturb sign hanging from the doorknob, but she still entered with fresh towels. She saw him lying there in bed, fully clothed, but he appeared to be asleep, so she just kind of left the towels and went on her way. 4th of January, the switchboard operator, Adela Ferguson, realized that the phone was off the hook in 1046, so Prost, being the bellboy then, or on shift, he went up to try and get him to hang the phone up. He knocked on the door, no response, and after a long time of knocking really loud, got a response finally, and the response was just to come in, but the door was locked. He had no way of entering, and he knocked again, turned on the light, still couldn't do anything because he couldn't get inside because the door was locked. So Prost just shouted, just hang up the phone, and he went back to the desk, told the switchboard operator that, he might be drunk, so we might want to wait a little bit to give him that wake-up call. 8:30, the switchboard operator noticed that the phone was off the hook again, so another bellhop, a Harold Pike, went up. But he had a key. He went in and saw Prost just kind of laying naked in the bed. Lights were off, so he just kind of went over to the phone and put it back on the receiver. He did notice some little dark spots on the mattress, but he really didn't think anything of it, thinking he was just drunk, sleeping it off. So he left. 10:30 a.m. The operator saw that the phone was yet again off the hook. So Prost went up this time, only he had a key this round. He went up and he walked into the door and found Owens on his hands and on his knees and elbows, bound almost, and his head looked like it was beat to hell in. He kind of just saw it from the light from the hallway, so he really wasn't sure what exactly he was seeing, but he put the phone back on the receiver, turned on the light, and sure enough, he saw a pretty gruesome scene. There was blood all over the walls, blood in the ceiling, in the main room, in the bathroom. Something really bad happened. He ran down to the desk to get the manager of the hotel. They both ran back up to the room. At this point, Owens had somehow propped himself up against the door, so they had to convince him to get away from the door so they can get in to try and help him. They had called a doctor to come and treat some of the wounds that he had. They noticed he had several stab wounds all over his body, and his head, he had some head trauma as well. They got an ambulance but he had died shortly after arriving on the hospital after midnight on January 5th.